Hey folks, this is going to be my review of the Focal Elear headphones, and these are them right here. I've been listening to these for, I don't know, the last 3 days or so, and I've been really enjoying them. They cost about $1,000, and I really think that they punch above their price point versus their bigger brother, the Focal Utopias. I actually think probably don't sound quite as good as $4,000 headphones. Where they're probably more like $2,000 or $3,000 headphones or $2,500 headphones or something like that, whereas the Elears I think sound more like $2,000 headphones than $1,000 headphones. So in that respect, I think the Elears are a better buy. Let's talk about the build quality. They've got a really nice build quality. The headband here is metal, I believe it's aluminum, and then the top of it is covered with leather, and I think it's real leather. Not sure on that, but very comfortable to wear. They feel a little bit heavy in the hand, but when you wear them and put them on, they're super comfortable. To me, they're equally as comfortable as the Sennheiser HD800 or HD800Ss, although they are, I think, a little bit heavier. But they seem to have a little bit of a more sturdy build quality because, the outer mesh here is metal, the little emblem thing here is metal. The headband is metal and stuff like that, so I don't think they're going to get as dinged up, as easily as the HD800s. I'll show you the box that they come in. I've got it down here on the floor because it's quite a big box, but you can kind of see it says Focal here, Elear here. By the way, some people pronounce it Elear or Elear. Elear. Yeah, I pronounce it Elear. I don't know quite what's 100% right on that. But the box opens up here, and you've got kind of a nice foam here, and this is where the headphones go. And in here, the cables can go. And this is the headphone cable right here that it comes with, the stock one. It's the stock 1/4-inch jack single-ended headphone cable. It seems like a good quality cable. It's an oxygen-free copper cable inside. It's a little bit thick in terms of the shielding. And the main thing about this cable is look how long it is. It's probably about 13 feet long, I believe. So it's quite a long cable, which is, can be good and can be bad. If you like a longer cable and like to move around the room where you're listening to, I think a good long cable is quite nice. I'm not using this cable, however, because I have a balanced amp, and so I am using a 4-pin balanced cable going into the Elears. And my amp, by the way, is the Shed Audio Molnir 2, and then I've got the Gonyor Multibit DAC as well. This custom cable is a silver-plated copper cable, and the silver plating gives a little bit more of a treble, better treble than just a standard copper cable, and so that actually helps because some people have said the Focal Elears tend to be a little bit of a darker sounding headphone, not real dark, but darker than neutral. So the silver plated copper cable does help for that. And on the earpiece side, it is a 3.5-inch connection. So I can just pull this out here. You can kind of see it's just a regular 3.5-inch connection cable. So any 3.5-inch, or pretty much any 3.5-inch cable should work with the Focal Elears, whereas the Utopia is a different connector. The Focal Utopia uses what they call I think it's a LEMO, L-E-M-O connector. That's more of a proprietary special connector. That's a locking connector, I believe. Whereas this one is just the standard 3.5 millimeter. The only thing to note, though, is see the size of the hole there. It's kind of recessed in there. So you want to make sure the connector, not all 3.5 connectors are going to necessarily work. And in fact, this particular cable, I had to cut some of this red shielding off. I just had to cut it down because it was a little bit too thick to fit in that hole. Once I did that, it fits perfectly fine. So you want to make sure, that it's going to fit and not come out. You want to make sure it kind of clicks in there all the way in that way, and it's not gonna come out. But yeah, I'm running balanced, and I really like running my headphones balanced. I like the additional power that provides, the additional sound quality. Sound quality is a lot better. You get common mode noise rejection automatically with balanced, as well as like 4 times the power as well. So if you have a balanced headphone amplifier, I highly recommend you getting a balanced cable and running them that way. You're going to benefit from that quite a bit. So let's see here. In terms of the sound of the Elears, I have to say, comparing them to say something like the Sennheiser HD800Ss, they have almost the same amount of details to me as the HD800Ss. Maybe slightly less, but only slightly less. They sound quite detailed. I'm not really missing any details at all. Very nice layered music presentation. The sound signature is definitely a thicker sound signature though, because they have more bass. So the Sennheiser HD800Ss kind of have a thin sound to me when comparing them to the Focal Elears. The Focal Elears sound just a little bit more rich and, bassy and a little bit more warm. Again, the detail retrieval is about the same, maybe a little bit less on the Elears. The sound stage is certainly less, certainly a little bit more narrow than the HD800 or HD800Ss. However, it's higher. The sound stage is higher in terms of vertically, up and down. You kind of hear more sound, more of a vertical wall with these than you do with the Sennheisers, and that's probably because of the frequency response. The Elears being, having more bass and being a little bit more, having a little bit more volume in the down, in the bass region, I think provides more of a sort of a vertical soundstage to them. In terms of comparing them to the Odyssey LCD3s, well, they're not as smooth. They don't have quite as smooth vocals as the Odyssey LCD3s, and certainly they have a lot more present highs than the LCD3s. So I would have to say that these probably have more detail retrieval than the Odyssey LCD3s, but not quite as smooth vocals, although the vocals still are quite smooth with these. So I wouldn't say that these are necessarily lacking in smoothness or anything like that at all. They provide a lot more detail retrieval. It's just comparing the different sound signatures to the different headphones. These are 80 ohm impedance headphones, so you can drive them directly out of something like an iPhone or something like that, but I would recommend a headphone amplifier. They sound great through my Shit Audio Molnir 2, but they also sound pretty good out of my Chord Mojo portable headphone amplifier as well. So that's a pretty good pairing in my opinion for portable use. Let me show you what else it comes with. It comes with these little booklets, a little safety booklet here. Actually, this one is the safety booklet. Yeah, so it's, a little safety precaution booklet in several different languages. And then here is sort of a little pamphlet on Focal, and just some pictures and stuff like that of their manufacturing and just stuff on the marketing material on the Focal company. These are made in France, so that's kind of cool. And here's the little quick start guide for the actual Elear headphones. It just kind of tells you, how to plug in the headphone cables to the headphones and how to plug it into the amp, how to take off the ear pads and stuff like that. One of the things that's interesting about the Focal headphones is that they are very open. In fact, they are probably some of the most open headphones that I have ever tried. And by open, I mean when you put them on, you can pretty much hear everything in the room, or practically almost everything. Focal has sort of engineered that so that the headphones sound more speaker-like in the room. And you don't get a so-called impedance mismatch between the headphones in the room like when you're wearing them. That also means that the music can leak quite a bit on these. So, if you're listening to music, people in the room will definitely be able to hear the music and the song that you're listening to. And you're going to want to listen to these in a pretty quiet environment. They're not for traveling with or commuting with at all. These aren't that kind of headphones. So in that respect, they're made more to be used at home, in a quiet listening room or listening environment, than to be used when traveling. But I think it works really well. Again, I do think that if Focal has achieved their goal of making these headphones sound quite speaker-like, and they don't have any kind of unnatural like closing off type sound or anything when you wear them or when you put them on and listen to music. Something else interesting I sort of discovered in listening to these is while they do present the highs very well and detailed, I don't seem to get like ear fatigue or listening fatigue in the highs like I do with other headphones with these. As some of you probably know, I'm fairly sensitive to treble, and even though these seem to have, you know, very good treble and, you know, really good detail retrieval, I feel that I can listen to these for a long time and I don't get that minor sort of tinnitus ringing in my ears at all with these. And I find that kind of interesting with these. So, you know, these are by no means bright or harsh headphones, but at the same time, they do have highs, I think, almost equivalent to, say, the HD800Ss in terms of the detail retrieval. And yet at the same time, I don't get the same amount of fatigue I do with the HD800s or HD800Ss. So that's sort of an interesting aspect of these headphones that I really like. If I had to cite any negatives or any complaints with the Focal Elears, it would just be with the sub bass, and that's just coming from me being a bit of a bass head. I would prefer a little bit more of a sub bass response to these, but it certainly doesn't lack bass. It does have bass that kicks, and, you know, kicks really well, but it's just not a real deep sub bass in terms of kicking. What I have done though is I have used a little bit of EQ and boost up the frequency in the sub bass. I boost, I believe, 29 hertz as well as 63 hertz a little bit in EQ, and that has made them a little bit more to my liking in terms of just having that thump when you're listening to you know, bass heavy music. That's just my personal preference. You don't have to do that, but for me that has made them a little bit more bassy and something that I like. But in general, they do have a very nice sound to them, a very smooth sound. Quite a smooth and dynamic and lively sound to them, but not overly bright or anything like that. Just very moving and quite listenable and fun to listen to and engaging. You know, if I had to describe them in one word, I think it would be engaging. These headphones really are a fun listen indeed. Now, in terms of the vocals and the mids on the Focal Elears, that's not quite as smooth as what I have heard on the Odyssey LCD3s, for example. However, these definitely have more detail retrieval in the vocal and the mids than the Odysseys. So you'll probably hear more of the breath details and stuff in vocals and in the highs than you will in, say, Odyssey headphones. So that's just a little, you know, comparison for you between different headphones that I have owned and tried. So to sum up, the Made in France Focal Elears are really nice headphones in my opinion for the price, and definitely punch above the $1,000 price point and sound more like $1,500 or $2,000 headphones. So yeah, I really like them quite a bit, and I think they're going to be hard to beat in this price point. As always, for community and discussion, or if you have any questions or comments, please see the comments field. And thanks for watching this video. See you in my next video.